There is something so special about 90s turbo cars that I just absolutely love. Whether it's Silvias, RX-7s, MR2s, and the start of this, the cars that were coming out in the late 80s, started to kind of have this sense of futurism and these really cool lines, and very much inspired by planes and aircraft. But nothing exemplifies it more than the Saab900 Turbo. I've always wanted to get one of these cars, but I never really had a reason or an excuse to buy one. And when we came up with this idea on Mighty Car Mods of doing a $3,000 budget turbo challenge, there was only one thing that I wanted, and that is a Saab900 Turbo. Now, a lot of people say that you'll never forget your first Saab, and it's probably because you'll never buy another one, particularly if you're into DIY or working on your car yourself, because this is probably one of the most difficult cars to work on. It's up there with the Mini, but whereas the Mini is kind of cool and there's way more resources and lots of information about it, with the Saab, there's only like 4 or 5 people in the world that actually love them, so it's very hard to get parts and very hard to get information. So of course, I was inspired by the cars that we've made in Japan and the cars that we've made in Australia in a kind of JDM style, and that is what informed me in the way that I would modify the Saab. So of course we did lowered springs, we did a huge front mount intercooler, which was probably way bigger than needed to be, and of course we couldn't find an easy way to fit it there behind the bumper bar, so we just cut the bumper bar to bits, massive chunk out of it, VL style, and I used to have a VL Commodore, so you know, it kind of made sense to me. So we did the boost controller, the blow-off valve, and then got the car on the dyno after we'd done a straight pipe as well, and some dodgy wheels that I bought off the internet. When the car was finished, it turned out way better than I thought it would. And the sound that was coming out of those straight pipes was just incredible. Now, of course, the car did defeat Too Sexy in the final battle, as it rightfully should have, but there was one part of that battle series that didn't actually make it into our finale episode. Now, when we first came up with the idea of doing this, the idea was that we would do the cars up and then we would sell them and see who made more money, which was a challenge that didn't actually make it into the final video. Marty, how many offers have you had of someone to buy your car?
I had 5 legitimate offers, one of which was a young lady.
Really?
Yep, who wanted to buy my vehicle.
Did they offer you any money, Martin? An actual number?
Well, I now can't sell it because the mechanic refused to register it, so now no one wants to buy it anymore.
It's unregistered?
Yeah, it couldn't pass a pink slip.
Okay.
I did get up early and tow it here, man.
All right. Do you know how many offers I've had to buy the Saab?
How many offers have you had?
1.
Yeah.
And it's sold.
What?
As soon as this challenge finishes, someone's picking it up. And I made more money than what I bought it for.
That's a load of bullshit.
It's true.
Really?
It's true. So I'm going to say that resale value, Wasaabi's actually been sold. So I don't think you can argue with that. That makes Wasaabi the winner. And for the record, I've made $300 after spending a couple of $1,000s on it, so I'm still losing a lot. Anyway, there it is. I think the car was 2,700. It's got a couple of grand worth of mods done to it, and I sold it for 3 grand. So I've lost a couple of grand, but made $300 on my initial thing.
Well, that's important.
So where has Wasaabi gone? Well, it has gone to a good home. It's gone to a friend of mine whose car actually caught on fire, and it was a car that we have used on the show in the past. And he loves Saabs, was very into it, followed the series the whole way along, and when I found out that he needed a car, of course, that was the right place for it to go. So Wasaabi lives on. I am going to miss Wasaabi, but I also really appreciate the experience that I got driving it. It's really easy to lay a lot of crap on different cars and a lot of different brands, and I found the same thing when I owned a Honda as well. But once you actually drive it, you start to understand why it is that people are so interested in those cars. So Saab900 Turbo, I loved it. May you fly high in the skies and highways, and I hope you don't fall apart too quickly, considering you've done 400,000 kilometres.
I always wanted a turbo Saab, and I'm so glad that I got to experience one. As hard as it is to say goodbye, it's also the right time because I've actually already bought another car that's taken its place in the Mighty Mods garage. So thanks for the good times and farewell Wasaabi.
We burst into life.
Why are there sidewalks beside most streets? So Saab owners have a safe place to walk home. That's actually pretty funny. Why do they fit ABS braking systems to Saabs? So you can stop quicker to pick up all the pieces that fell off. That's actually pretty funny.